public sports show. I'm your beloved host, Fame Rothstein, aka Michael Snackson, aka Bay Old Wolf, aka Malcolm Excellence, aka Hacksaw Jim Thuggin. And today is Wednesday, January 17th, 2024. Okay? And today I'm just going to talk a little shit about, a little interview I saw with, little piece of an interview I saw involving Noriega, the rapper, the host, co-host or whatever of the podcast Drink Champs. We're gonna talk about that today. But before I get into that, do me a favor, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, okay? Leave comments, okay? Share it, okay? Because yeah, I need you. I'm just doing this, get my just talk a little shit. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, I understand. But yeah, make sure you like and subscribe, and also you can find me on X. The app formerly known as Twitter. Okay, you can find me on X at Biggie Rothstein, BIGGIEROTHSTEIN. There it is, right there on the screen. All right, bottom of the screen there. Go ahead and find me on there as well. Okay. But yeah, I don't want to hold you too long on this one. Just going to talk a little bit about a little excerpt of a interview I saw with Noriega. As you know, or Nori, he likes to go by now. Back in the day when he was a rapper, his name was Nori. Now he's he's got one of the top podcasts, on YouTube, or on, Drink Champs. Basically has some rappers, a few entertainers and athletes on there, but mainly rappers. As he says, he wants to give them their flowers. I like that. I respect it and whatnot. And saw some interview where he was kind of, I don't want to say dissing, but he was just kind of bemoaning the fact that Jay-Z did an interview, the rapper Jay-Z, let's not kid ourselves. He did an interview with Gayle King of CBS Morning News, or, Oprah's longtime friend, she did an interview with her. He did an interview with her. Jay-Z did an interview with Gayle King, and Nori was kind of bemoaning that, saying, I wish he would have done it with the Joe Budden podcast or Drink Champs or, $1 billion worth of game podcast. Because we're finally in a space where we own blah 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 and this and that, and I get that, what Nori's saying, but the thing is, Nori is more than misguided on this because he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. As an interviewer. Look, Nori came out in '98 or whatever that was. His first album, Capone and Noriega, CNN. Top of New York, Tony. That was a hell of an album. Had some bangers on it. The title cut, Nori. Or I don't think that was his solo album, Nori. But it had that on it. It had, damn, I forgot the name of the beat. Name of the song. It was Scott Scorch beat. Niggas don't want beef, because if they did, I put the gun up to their kids, and I ain't even like that. I love that. He had some bangers on it. Then he, kind of blew up Pharrell more than anybody. Nothing and things like that. Super Thug. Nobody had some hits. He had his time. Like KRS once said, just another rapper that had his turn. You know what I'm saying? Not about him. He said that about another rapper, Melly Mel. But yeah. And so a lot of rappers, the guys he mentioned. Joe Budden, $1 million worth of game, featuring that's Gilly and Wallow. Gilly used to be a rapper in the '90s as well. Nori himself, a lot of Cameron and Mace, theirs is a little different because it's more of like a sports show, kind of like First Take with Stephen A. Smith. So it's a little different with them. I don't necessarily call it a podcast. I just call it an entertaining show. Um, but yeah, Nori, he's kind of bemoaning Jay, and I don't know what everybody, first of all, let's be honest. A lot of people don't like Jay Z for whatever reason. Maybe it's personal or whatever. I mean, during the Hip Hop 50 celebrations, over the summer, over the last summer, 2023 summer, it was said that LL was kind of dissing him when he said, "Quit acting like you're too big for hip hop." It should be at these celebrations. I don't remember if Jay Z was at any, but that is what it is. That's his, for whatever his own personal issue is. But yeah, so Nori, he's mad at him and whatnot. And to be honest with you, I don't get it. Like I said, I said it a couple videos ago. Go back. Jamil Hill from ESPN, she said this. That these rappers and athletes who do podcasts, they're not really good podcasts or whatever. They're not really good at what they're doing, just interviewing and asking questions and whatnot. And they're not. And Nori's number probably, if he ain't the worst, then what you call it is all the smoke with Steven Jackson and them, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. I mean, let's be honest, these guys are not good interviewers. None of these shows, they're not good interviewers. Their shows are guest driven, not host driven. What I mean by that is they have guests on their show, who more likely gonna come on and talk some shit that people want to hear, just some goofy shit, tell some stories, just talk greasy. Not necessarily that he's, asking great questions or nothing, or any of these guys. Even like Vlad TV. I watch a lot of Vlad. Has nothing to do with him. His show is guest driven. Like he's had mafiosos on there. Sammy the Bull, who reached a deal with the government, only did 5 years initially in jail after killing 19 people, admitting to killing 19 people because he took down John Gotti, former mob boss from back in the 80s, 90s. Then he's he has a lot of rappers on there, comedians and whatnot. Just like Boosie is like his main guest. That tells you that the show is guest driven because Boosie come in there uninhibited, say something off the wall, but you'll like it. Like again, Vlad likes to throw his own opinions in there a lot instead of letting the host talk, instead of letting the guest talk. And I just don't get that. Like, why are you always arguing with the guests? Just come in here and rant for your own, like I'm doing here, just ranting. You can do that your own, but instead of arguing with the guests, I don't get that. That's not good interviewing. But he has a relationship with these people, business and personal relationships with them, so he can get away with that with his guests. And I guess, well, truth be told, Steven Jackson said that about, Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay when Cat Williams went off on everybody. Steven Jackson was like, hey, we wouldn't do that, because we got a relationship with our guests, so we wouldn't let nobody just come on and shit on them. He forgot that he let Charles Oakley come on and shit on Isaiah Thomas or he let Charles Oakley come on and shit on Isaiah Thomas, and then the next week, Isaiah Thomas is on the show. He ain't this Oakley. What he did was check Steven, said, "No, man, remember I got you back in the league. From that Malice in the Palace shit in Detroit. Steven out there 6'7" throwing bombs at 5'9", 320 dudes. You know what I'm saying? And Isaiah Thomas was like, "No, remember I went to the commissioner and put a word in for you. Like, how can you front on me like that?" So, but yeah, Jay-Z, I'll tell you, the only one that he's mentioned that is probably host driven that you'll watch for the host is probably $1 million worth of game because Gilly is entertaining. I'll give him that because he's entertaining. He does the little funny names, Dame Gillard, Chauncey Gillup, shit like that. Like shit I do in the beginning with the Hacksaw Jim Thuggin. Them little funny little names the twists on names and whatnot, you know. Um, but other than that, I don't, there's nothing spectacular about his questioning or anything, and that's fine. These guys weren't, these guys didn't go to school for that, didn't learn how to do that. They was, in the streets according to their bios and rap songs from back in the day. So, and that's all of them, you know. But yeah, I just don't, Jay Z is it's not just because he's a billionaire and whatnot, but you gotta remember he's a brand. Like he says, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. His wife's Beyonce. He can't sit on Drink Champs and drinking and smoking. That's what Nori does a little bit. They drink and smoke and shit. I'm surprised Derek Jeter did it. I was shocked. Like, whoa, Shaq too. But I don't think they were ever drinking and smoking on their show. I know Derek Jeter drunk something. I don't know if it was necessarily liquor or anything. I just kind of barely watched the episode because again, Nori's a bad interviewer. Somebody who's been in an interviewing field, just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I was like, I can't watch this no more. He interrupts too much. But that's neither, well, it is, I ain't gonna say it's neither here nor there, um, but yeah, then, Jay Z probably don't want to be around all that energy, drinking and smoking. You gotta remember, Nori's closer to 50 than he is 40. I mean, these are adult men with adult children. Most of them were close to adult children. I don't know when they started having kids in life, but they're the I mean, I've said that about Gilly and Wallow, the way they're showing off their cars after they got after they get that deal with that big deal. I guess it was for 100 million or whatever. It's like these are 40-something-year-old teenagers. Why are you showing off cars and things like that? That's corny after a certain age. And Jay Z just probably don't want to be around that energy. But at the same time with Nori, you didn't have to hesitate to sign with Rockefeller Records, Jay Z's formerly owned company, when you needed a record deal. He helped you out. Owes you nothing more. He got you on his well, I can't say he owes you nothing more. I don't know y'all personal relationship, but I know you was on his record label and you were in that movie that Rockefeller did, Paid in Full. So, he kind of paid it forward with you. Okay? And besides, another thing, Jay-Z been doing interviews with Oprah and Gail for like 10, 15 years now. Remember, like I told you, Beyonce is his wife. You can talk all that Illuminati bullshit and all that, but Beyonce was on Oprah. And, a year or two later, Jay-Z's on Oprah. Talking, like he said, took her back to the hood and Best I had her on the, what he say? Had her on the stoop, drinking quarter waters, that type of shit, whatever he said. You know what I'm saying? Just like you got to understand, some people, it's not about big timing you. It's just, well, I remember one time I asked for, I sent a resume to a baseball columnist job at I'm not gonna say the newspaper, but it was a major newspaper, and they have a pro baseball team, and so it was for that. Sent the dude my clips and everything, the editor, and he was like, "Look, I like your clips. You seem like the guy who could probably handle this because you know baseball, but I need somebody who can get Bud Selig." He was the baseball commissioner at the time. He'd be like, "I need somebody who can get Bud Selig on the phone right now." What he was saying is, I need somebody with more cachet. I ain't taking personal. I could be like, "Oh, this motherfucker big time and me. You don't want to see me come up." No, it ain't got nothing to do with that. And that's kind of it is with Nori. Like, you gotta understand that rap still has a stigma. I don't care how much, because remember, only a few of y'all really got paid. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see Jay-Z, Ice Cube, some of these other guys who got real paid, Dr. Dre, doing podcasts, for a little extra money in their 40s, after the rap shit been down for about 10, 12 years. You don't see them doing that. They got paid. Russell Simmons, who KRS-One, says that founded the provided the funding for the first 25 years of hip hop. He left the country. Over $1 billion. He left the country. You know, now we know it was to avoid some court stuff, but still, you know what I'm saying? It's like we get it, Nori, but like you gotta understand, like what I'm saying, slow your roll and pause. You don't get everything you get. You don't get everything you're supposed to get in this game. Interviewing folks. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even monetized yet. Not even able to monetize on YouTube yet. I don't care if I get some guests. I've had like a very popular local sports talk guy on my show. Uh, Former major leaguers. Nobody major. Hell, I'm still trying to get. I still would love to get Ray Caruth, Eric Davis. You know, that's gonna cost me to get some of these guys. Like Cameron. I don't know what he's paying OJ Simpson and Maurice Claret. Two people kind of fell out of favor for different reasons. But he's got the cachet and the cash to do that. Maybe you just don't have the cachet or the cash to get Jay Z. Maybe Joe Button does it. Maybe your boy Wally Gillian Wallow, $1 million worth of game. Maybe they don't have the money or the cachet to pull in a Jay Z. You know what I'm saying? But trying to shame him or be bemoaning it and crying about it, that ain't gonna help him. That ain't gonna help you or make him want to come do your show. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna hop off of here, y'all. Kind of rambled a little bit. I didn't expect this to be more than 15 minutes. I didn't expect it to be 15 minutes, but so let me hop off here and I'll get back at you soon. NFL playoff action coming, so we'll have picks this weekend. All right. But until then, everybody, be well. Peace.